it is important that you wear gloves because this stuff stinks and it is very difficult to get it off your hands. Episode 4 of Grow Your Own Food. Well, heidi ho there, growers. I hope that the temperatures have warmed up and that you have started growing. Today, I want to talk about compost tea, or as I like to call it, poo poo juice or poo poo tea, because it stinks. We're going to brew up a batch of my poo poo juice that I love to do so that you can see just how easy it is. And this is going to be fabulous food for your garden. But before we do that, everything's been in for a week and I've got a fancy new planter. I was doing a gig and someone had left this planter stand on the outside. It's not meant for being outside, so it will be one season, but this way I could kind of pile up everything. Let me just back you up a little bit so you can see how it all looks. But look at how everything is looking gorgeous. Here's our lettuces and our broccoli with the beans. Oh, and I was gifted this garlic, so I just thought I'll put it in a pot. There's our purple top verbena. This is just lemon balm. I just left him there. Our other lettuces. Now, something is eating my beans, and I don't know what's eating the beans. This broccoli, he's not doing so great. This is stevia that was for me. It died. Here's our cauliflower with our Swiss chard looking gorgeous. Overall, our little planter garden is looking very good. I'm pretty pleased with it. No, you can't come out because your guys are eating all my stuff. You have to stay in until just a little bit longer. It's a sad time for all of us. I feel pretty much as sad as they do because it's like, I like them to come out, but then they go and eat all my little baby plants. So I have to wait for them to get bigger. So your compost tea, it's just going to be weeds, grass, leaves, anything like that, any sort of green. And even if you have some things that have already turned brown, you want to grab those too, because that's going to bring your carbon and your nitrogen all together in one place, and it's going to make a really great balanced food for your garden. Now, I know in the other episodes I talked about you getting a 5-gallon pail, and that's best, let's say, if you are just in a small area or, you only have a little patio garden. But what I use is these great big totes that I get from the big box stores. And so that's what I'm going to be filling up. And I have one in the front because it needs to take care of all of this and also what's behind this hedge, which is my mid yard. And then I also have one in the back. That takes care of all of my backyard stuff. So I don't usually empty it, but because I moved to this one this year, I did empty it, but I think I have already started. Yes, I have. We've got some great little weeds growing on in there, which is looking good. But as you can see, like, there's a dandelion, just some grasses and whatever else. The weeds are always plentiful in my yard and garden. Now these, of course, haven't died off because there isn't enough water in there. Oh my goodness. I have a friend in there. Look at that. Well, hello, Mr. Salamander. Is this your home? I certainly hope you don't have your family in here. Huh. And then I've got water from my rain barrel. We filled up the bucket. And we're just gonna add some water. I do have to wonder if he is maybe stuck in there. Should we put something in there for you to get out on? I don't know. I'm assuming you've got sticky fingers, but maybe not. Don't drown. Come on up. There you go. All right. Carry on, sir. Carry on. I know some people will use a paint strainer liner and put that into their bucket and they'll take out the greens. I just let them all disintegrate down to nothing, which they will do over time. Things like straw, that takes a little longer, or if you have some sticks, some thin sticks, that will also take longer. But I just keep adding to it through the summer. As I'm weeding, I throw them in there, add some more water, and just keep letting it steep and steep and steep. I don't bother taking any of it out. You do want to have your water to cover over top of this, and I will be adding more in as I'm just beginning to start it. But this here has been brewing, so this water here is just beautiful. But you do want to get things covered because they will continue to grow. And it will continue to stink. Actually, on second thought, I think I'm going to leave the lid off of it right now, just so that it starts collecting some extra rainwater. Then I don't have to haul it out here. So we'll just leave it like that. It's right under this tree, so it might not get a whole lot of rain, but we'll see. I'll try to make a mental note of just how high it is. There we go. So let me show you the 2 ways that you can apply your Poo Poo juice. I'm going to use my back garden one where I've been throwing some weeds and whatever else that's been on it. But this one is from last year. Oh yeah, that looks good. Just throw those roots in there. It is important that you wear gloves because this stuff stinks and it is very difficult to get it off your hands. In the past, I've used like the Lysol bleach wipe to try to get the stink off my hands, so be very careful with it. I always keep a big stick handy just to give it a stir. Ooh, look at that. Lots of bubbles coming up. That's great. This is a very old compost, so there is some stuff in there, and it'll probably start percolating up more once I start adding more greens to it. So I use an old Epsom salts container, or also I've had popcorn containers like this. And what I do is I just go to the edge here. Oh, look at all those little bugs. Them in there. I just go to the edge so that it won't allow for big chunks and stuff to get in there. And I just submerge it, not too low where it's gonna get on my gloves. And then I pour it into the container. And I'm only gonna do so much. That's probably good. Then we're gonna do about 1.5 ice cream pails full of water from my other water barrel that is in the backyard. And because this has been diluted, we can just pour it directly onto our plants. A little bit of food for everybody. Now that method works great when you only have to do a little bit, but I have a great big garden. So I pour it on full strength and then I come behind with some water. So we'll do our newly planted strawberries. And then I follow it up with a water chaser, which is going to dilute it at the soil level. So those are my 2 ways to apply the Poo Poo juice to your garden and to your pots. Poo Poo tea, Poo Poo juice, or you can even just use fresh comfrey and make a comfrey tea, which is really enriching for your garden. What I have found in the past, it feeds and heals your soil. So if there is something wrong in the soil, or if the plant is not getting enough nutrients, as soon as you put the tea on it, it actually improves it exponentially, almost like overnight. I have a video or a short from a couple of years ago where I was growing pumpkins and the pumpkin wasn't doing very well, very, light in the color. Started putting the compost tea on it and it just almost grew within 4 days. It was like a good 1.5 feet. Like it was just an overnight kind of miracle. This is free and it's healthy for your yard and garden. So some questions. Are you growing your garden? And is this going to be your first time to grow a garden, that you're going to grow some delicious pesticide-free vegetables for your family? Let me know in the comments. Or if you are already an avid grower, let me know what you are growing and where you're at. Because I know in different parts of the world, there's some people that are already harvesting some of their things, which makes, you know, us northerners very, very envious. I don't know what we're gonna have for the next episode. You know, I'm kind of a fly by the seat of your pants girl. You know, I might just do another update so that we can just see how things are growing. So I hope you're having a great day wherever you are, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Gosh, that's a beautiful scene. Take care, God bless.